This podcast gets support from our friends at Howie's Market. Howie's Market is your one-stop destination for full-service grocery, including the best meat and fish departments in all of Southern California.
And don't forget about the hooch, Adam. Howie's Market also offers the finest wines and spirits and a wide variety of craft beer selections.
And if that's not enough, and why should it be, Howie's Market hosts monthly wine tastings and parking lot barbecues every single weekend.
We're talking tri-tip sandies, half chickens, baby back ribs, all beef hot dogs, and more.
No wonder they were voted the best butcher by Los Angeles Magazine. So head on down to Howie's Market, open 7 days a week, and conveniently located in the heart of the San Gabriel Valley at 6580 North San Gabriel Boulevard.
Stop on in and tell them Nation Golf sent you.
And give them a follow on Instagram at Howie's Market. Right back at it and right back on schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fellowship. If it feels like we just did this, it's because
we did.
We just did this, but here we are, another Monday, another
You did this, Adam.
Podcast episode. My name is Adam Hawk. I am joined by Ryan Raw Hands Engle.
Ryan
freaking Engle.
Ryan, you are 36 hours removed from regripping well over 100 golf clubs at our Sip It and Grip It party this past Saturday. How are you, and more importantly, how are your mitts today?
I think it was close to 200.
Really?
Really?
I don't know.
I definitely feel comfortable saying well over 100, and if you put a gun to my head, I would
150?
say... Yeah.
150 maybe.
A lot of clubs that you regripped. How are your hands?
Yeah, they're sore. Not from like the labor, mostly from just being in the schmuck. Acetone, grip solvent, rubber. And I had to keep washing them over and over again too, because once they get a little slimy, it's like you got no grip. No pun intended. I knew right away, 5 minutes into the party, once we were backed up 3 customers, I knew right away, we're fucked.
Yeah.
It was all good. We wondered, could I do it? A. B, is anyone even going to show up? I think we learnt our lessons.
I want to say that we learned our lessons, but after working with you for 6 years, I don't think we ever learn any lessons. But it was quite the weekend for both of your humble iPod broadcast hosts. I had my parents in town visiting from Seattle, Washington, which by nature, for anyone, is always a schedule upender. And Ryan, who pays second rent at Disneyland, nobody goes more often, was back inside the gates of the happiest place on earth, pushing a stroller around, spending money he doesn't have. And all of this wrapped around our long-awaited Sip It and Grip It party on Saturday night at Nation headquarters in San Clemente. And let me lay this out, and then you will jump in and do all of your wonderful color. But let's talk about that party. This was a gathering to celebrate the release of our new grips that have sold better than any item we have ever released in the history of our company dating back to 2008. The idea for the party was to open up our doors on the weekend and have people come by at the same time as each other to get their clubs regripped. And Ryan Engle himself would be the one person installing said grips for said people.
Need I remind you, Adam, I'm only one man.
Does anyone anywhere see an inherent flaw in this concept?
If you're a bitch.
Only Nation Golf is both so brave and so stupid at the same time.
Only Ryan Engle.
Ryan freaking Engle.
Mr. Hawk over here was all week long. Hey, mate, tomorrow we can, what do you call it? When we're pre-planning the party, we can run through the show, or what were you saying? You had some lingo you used.
Prep a run of show?
Run a show, yeah. Well, let's prep a run a show and this and that. How'd that all go? I'm on my way down, mate. Need anything? Yeah, grab some ice, dude. About to get in the trenches. And boy, did I ever. But one pleasant surprise from this party, Hawk.
We'll get there.
Could have gone better, but it did go. Fun to watch. Witnessed history.
Maybe we're talking about two separate things.
We could be.
It sounds like we are.
Okay.
I resent the implication that I did not help out in any way for this party.
That's not what I was implying at all.
Well, when I said only Nation Golf would be so brave and so stupid to take this on, you said, no, only Ryan Engle.
Ryan freaking Engle.
Take on the everyone showing up at one time to get their clubs grip. That was me.
Who greeted every customer, put them in queue, took
Not
their
saying
orders.
you didn't. Not saying you didn't. I'm going to be Mr. Retail this party and stuff, and you were Mr. Hang by the workers, you know?
Such an idiot. One might call you a stupid idiot.
Stupid idiot.
Stupid idiot.
If you know anything about re-gripping golf clubs,
Shit.
and believe me, I didn't know anything about re-gripping golf clubs until very recently, a single club takes anywhere between 3 to 6 minutes, depending on how difficult it is to remove an old grip, how crusty the tape is, and if someone might want their old grip salvaged or not. On the fastest end, re-gripping a full set of 14 clubs takes 45 minutes, start to finish. On the absolute nightmare end, it can take an hour and a half.
I'd say 20 if they're already peeled and no issues. But that was maybe like 2 of the sets we did.
Right.
Yeah, so you're right. I'd give it a nice 45 zone.
So here we are with an event scheduled to run 3 hours, and we tell everyone, show up at the same time with your bats, and one guy will re-grip them all. Did we take RSVPs? No. Did we book people ahead of time in specific time slots?
No.
Of course not. Did we include any messaging in our outgoing communications to show up with your sticks already degripped?
No.
Why would we go and do a smart thing like that?
It's part of the process, Adam.
Now, to be fair, we did kind of sort of anticipate this problem, and a few weeks ago we reached out to a third-party company for a quote to be on site Saturday and help with the grips, and it just didn't end up making financial sense for us to bring anybody else out, not for this first run anyway. And I want to be clear, absolutely no disrespect to this third-party company either. They have to make their money and protect their time. We get it. And I mean, we're terrible at both of those things, making money and protecting our time, but we've heard it's something other businesses do. So we kind of understand it.
Something we're striving for.
By concept, we kind of understand it. Regardless, we went through with the party, not knowing how many people would show up and only knowing that Ryan Engle was single-handedly responsible for doing all of the work put in front of him that evening. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 2 instances in history when a savior has appeared and completely changed the outlook of the world. One instance happened in Bethlehem some 2,000 years ago, and one instance happened Saturday night when Jerry Azarin, a.k.a. the Jer Bear, drove all the way down from North Long Beach, looked us dead in the eye and said, "Put me to work."
Yep. This is just how big of a heart the guy has. I would like to think he had every intention in the world of coming in and soaking up the vibe and having a few adult beverages and maybe switching off to do his own stuff. Kind of hang, soak up the Nation HQ type of living. And he walked into a warehouse, and this was early. He was one of the early guys. And we only had like 3 sets stacked up at that point. And he knew right away how fucked we were. And he was just like, give me the hook blade and watch out. And what was crazy is normally that stuff is like pretty minor. I just know for myself when I'm like re-gripping my own clubs, I keep my clubs in good standing order and I don't let any said grip stay on too long. You know me, even when I get like a vintage one at a time, it'll come in the mail and I'll take it off, get it all prepped. It always has like fairly newish tape, fairly newish grip on there. So when you have to cut those things off or remove them safely to salvage them, they come off quite easily, especially the tape. But what we ran into real quick, and poor Jer Bear had to deal with this all night, is a bunch of yahoos who's never changed their grips, who leave their fucking clubs outside apparently, and this tape and this old rubber morphed into the metal of the shaft. You hate to see that. There isn't a blowtorch or a blade in the world that can properly handle that. You just have to fight through it and spoon your way out of Alcatraz. It's just that simple. And had he not have been there to take care of that, I'd like to say I probably would have done a third of the installs. We would have had a lot of Tracy Taylors out there going home without their grip on their club. A little upset. Sorry, Tracy. That's what happens when you have a big old star wrench weight in the back of your grip. Hard to take it off.
You did just pronounce the word safely.
Okay.
Jerry Azarin is a friend of ours that we made a couple of years ago when he entered a raffle to come out to Indian Wells Country Club with us to play around and bring a friend. Jerry purchased one $10 ticket into a raffle in which 1,000 other names were in it, and some of those names had purchased up to 10 tickets, and Jerry won. And we didn't really know Jerry. We didn't even know how to pronounce his last name when he won. And then we went out to Indian Wells and made an instant lifelong friend. And I have not seen Jerry in person since that golf round. Have you?
Not in person, but we speak to him quite a bit. I want to say this. Will Mayo. Shout out to Will Mayo.
The mayor.
Can't spell the mayor without Mayo. If Will Mayo is the mayor of golf networking, Jerry Azarin is the governor. It's just that simple.
Governor is above mayor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Really?
Because, where Will falls short,
Oh, boy.
Jerry exceeds all expectations. Jerry can throw himself into the fire, into the lion's den of all of these quote-unquote golf fashion guys.
Hang on.
And he'll throw a scarf on and get in the mix, all the while still knowing what's true, what's real, and what's the meat and potatoes of golf culture. He's transcending. He's a politician. He's damn good at it. He's the governor. He's at the governor's ball every day on social media, just making everyone get along. And you just love to see that.
I think you simultaneously just called out Will Mayo for falling short and then doxed Jerry's whole game.
What? No.
Will Mayo falls short. Jerry plays both sides.
That's just your negative worldview, dude. I just gave Will Mayo the shout out of a lifetime. He's the mayor, and he mayors. He governs well.
Where does Will fall short?
He doesn't want to be the governor. He's got his nice little local constituency, and he's taking good care of it, and he doesn't have to go to these Malbon events and put a fucking woolly mammoth sweater around his neck.
All right, so if we were working that language together in a comms capacity off air, I would tell you, instead of saying the words Will Mayo fall short, I would say Will Mayo peaks at. So you keep it positive.
Maybe it's just negative the way you see it. Maybe it doesn't have to be positive or negative. It's just the way it is.
Okay, I can
Sometimes you miss baskets, and sometimes you make them, Adam.
I can guarantee you, as Will the Mayor
That ball
Mayo.
don't lie.
All right, thank you, Rasheed Wallace. I can guarantee you that as Will the Mayor Mayo is driving around his Dodge Dart today, and he hears you say, "Where Will Mayo falls short,"
He'd be like, "Oh man, Engle, you got me right again, man. I don't want to be putting those scarves around my neck at those parties, man."
We digress. Hadn't seen Jer Bear since we played golf with him a couple of years ago.
Shout out Jer Bear's buddy Dan, smooth operator.
That was a non sequitur if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
What do I do with that?
I don't know, but he played golf with us. He's Jerry's friend.
Okay.
And Dan the man was smoothing it all day, brother.
Yep. Thank you for bringing an ancillary character into a 2-year-old event while I'm trying to bring it back to present day. I really appreciate you today and your efforts.
Smooth operator.
Still going, folks. Great to have Jerry Bear back in the building. I was surprised to see him. He drove a long way to be there. And again, he did say, put me to work. And he told me, and I'm very illiterate when it comes to equipment talk and anything that has to do with craftsmanship, working with your hands. Jerry said to me that when he saw all of our posts leading up to the party, he quickly realized how inevitably screwed you were going to be taking this on by yourself. So he drove down with every intention of doing exactly what he did, which I think is amazing.
Unreal.
How did you repay him that night? Well, I'll tell you, folks, because about halfway through, we stopped what we were doing to thank the crowd for being there, to bring everyone up to date on the money the party had raised for LA wildfire relief, to show a wonderful edit that Justin Jung had put together, which we'll talk more about in a little bit, and to raffle off a vacationer golf bag to anyone that had purchased a ticket to go to LA wildfire relief. And you had your lovely 4-year-old daughter, Palmer, out to pull the ticket. She did. The ticket came out. It clearly said Thomas Wrighton on the back of the ticket. And for some reason, you decided to read the name Jerry. An ultimate mislead.
Adam, you got to make plans. You got to make plans. If you don't make plans, all hell can break loose.
What was your plan there?
Just to mislead.
To mislead the guy that was helping us out, who had his name in the raffle.
Yeah, because he probably was like, you don't want to think this out loud, but deep down inside, it was like, oh man, I hope I win this. I'm doing all this work.
And so you decided I'll just string that hope along for the guy helping me out free of cost. It was the worst public speaking you've done since you called out my wife for hating Craig at a restaurant.
That was top. That was above this for sure.
I have now realized that your unpredictability behind a microphone in a public speaking setting has gone from incredibly endearing to somewhat of a liability.
I know, man. Isn't it wild? I am an FBI agent.
I am an FBI agent.
Hey, but it all worked out. That was just God's way. He saw our hearts. We were stumbling a little bit, and he redirected us through my poor public speaking. So I got to learn that lesson as well as find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So it all worked out great.
Let me run a scenario by you, and then we'll get off of this. But let's say that you were at a charity event, you had put your name into a raffle, and between when you put your name in the raffle and when they drew the raffle, you decided to go and help out as much at that event as the organizers of that event. And then the organizer of the event pulls a name from a ticket that says Adam Hawk on it, and it's to win a 1977 Cadillac, and they go, and the winner is Ryan. Just kidding, Adam Hawk. How would you feel about that?
Brother, I can read the room. Look where we were. I had a cigar out, gripping clubs with adult beverages. People are all squawking and hawking all over the place. Yeah, I read the room. A small bunch, kind of sending it. Somewhat of a dive bar kind of ambiance. Pulled the rug out a little bit.
Yeah.
If I was in front of membership at the powwow giving the former chairman an award, was I a liability then? No, because I can read a room, Adam. So, when I'm on my own podium in the Bob and Dolores Hope Ballroom and I see a bunch of yahoos with their hats on and their all over prints tucked into their white shorts, I'm going to let it rip. But if I was at said charity event, you think I'd be doing that? Of course not, dude. I'm not an idiot. I'm just somewhat of a polished turd.
I never said you were an idiot.
Stupid idiot.
Stupid idiot.
Except 10 minutes ago, but I wouldn't say it now. And I am glad that we were able to make good with Jerry. We sent him home with a golf bag.
Right.
Because of how much he helped us out.
Right.
While we have you on the hot seat, let's reveal one more hilarious mishap before the party.
Okay.
I think it's a funny story.
Great.
So we had decided a couple of days before the party that we were going to allocate some of our sales and all of our raffle to the LA wildfire relief. And I came down to the shop a couple hours before the party to help Ryan with setup and said, let's do a last second invite and call out to everybody. And let's run through the alcohol that we are going to serve tonight. And Ryan, who is nicknamed around here as One Take Engle, He nails the script without any prep and does it right away and normally produces comedic gold, was on it again. And so all I have to do is press record and he can handle it. He says, what do you want me to say? I give him a few notes and it just comes out way better than I'd ever imagined. So Engle walks onto camera, starts talking about the party, and then goes to the bar and says, here's what we're serving tonight. We have rye whiskey, we have barrel-aged whiskey, we've got this, that, and the other. Oh, and by the way, we've got some vodka for all you homeless people out there.
Really good one.
It's a classic line.
It's a classic line. I'm out in front of it. I know that the situation's awful, but I'm out in front of it. I'm the guy that created the only homeless people drink vodka joke. It came from me. You heard it here first. That's my shtick. That's my joke. I used it horribly, just given the circumstances. That being said, still a hilarious joke.
Yes.
And I'm still going to use it, so pardon my interruption.
It was a great line because you have been on this shtick that if you drink vodka, you have to be homeless.
Yeah.
It's not an anti-homeless take. It's an anti-vodka take.
Yes. And also a nod to the biggest consumers of said product.
And this was essentially born out of Mike Nolan, the owner of Howie's Market, drinking vodka straight on the golf course.
Unbelievable.
And you said to Mike, you're too rich to be drinking vodka. So you doubled down on that, said, we've got some vodka tonight for all you homeless people. Great line. I laughed 5 times while posting the video, then posted it and realized if we're going to be raising money for people that just lost their homes in a fire, we probably should take out this homeless joke, despite the fact that you were not speaking about anything related to the fires. It was merely just vodka is the lowest rent alcohol you could possibly drink.
Correct.
We took it down, but it was a great joke, and unfortunately the world did not get to revel in that joke. But here at Nation Golf, we make the best decisions possible, even if after the fact.
I can be somewhat of a microphone liability. That's what we've learned here. That's why you're here, to clean up the beads in the office, as they say in the business. Know what I mean?
Great reference that 2 people and a dog will get.
Yeah.
I was writing invoices and slips Saturday night like the Wolf of Wall Street. I felt like I was on the...
Well, yeah. Technically, yes. I mean, they'd come in, and there's a lot of downtime in between the slips, because there's only so many you could have up there. So, you got to have fun. That's good. Glad you enjoyed yourself.
Only you.
Did we sell any clothing or hats? What happened to your hat idea? I'm going to make everyone here buy a hat.
Only you would denigrate the amount of work that I did that night. I was wheeling, dealing, entertaining, keeping people happy while they waited for their clubs, making sure
You did a great job.
Thank you.
And it was thankless work. Yeah, it was great.
Thank you. You also did a way, 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 way better and more important job, and so did Jerry. But that was fun for me to be able to talk to everyone and keep them company while they were waiting. That's a challenge. How do you keep people entertained when they might have an hour before they get their clubs back? But I think our little warehouse and your makeshift club station workshop, it felt like, you mentioned, a dive bar meets like a hot rod garage, where everyone just gathered around to watch one guy wrench. And it was like when people get around a fire and all of a sudden a fire captivates people and you just find yourself staring into the blue part of flames for hours as you sit there and talk. And that kind of was what it was like. Did you feel a bit like a dancing monkey under a spotlight?
No, because it required so much in-the-moment focus. But all the other stuff kind of helped, because if it's quiet back there, I'll start working on it and be like, oh, what about this over here? Next thing you know, I'm fucking carrying the plants outside to rewater them and clean the dust off the leaves. I'll just go into a project tailspin. So for that, with that kind of environment, everything around there, it almost helps me stay on job. Didn't feel like a monkey at all. Felt great. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend.
We did sell raffle tickets that night. As mentioned, the winner took home
Opportunity.
We sold opportunity drawing tickets. Winner took home a vacation or golf bag. Congratulations to Thomas Wright. And tickets were $10 a piece. All proceeds going to the California Community Foundation for LA wildfire relief. very happy and honored to say that throughout our sales over the weekend and the raffle, our little community and our extremely last-minute efforts raised $1,500, which we will happily put towards the California Community Foundation. And we know that $1,500 likely is not going to go the longest way, but every little bit helps. And it's very cool that spur of the moment, our community and the 20, 25 people in our warehouse went so hard on that.
Mm-hmm.
$1,500, nothing to sneeze at. And now we're a part of the rebuild, and our community's part of the rebuild.
Yeah, it's all good.
So that was great. And we are very happy to show that receipt once we make that deposit on that website. We collected money from Shopify, Venmo, and cash. So we just need to go put it all together, put it in the bank, and take care of that, which we will
Venmo.
Before the week is over, and we will show that to people. You were mentioning a great surprise that came out of the evening. I have it here on my notes, but I'll let you get to it.
Yeah, Adam grabbed a blade towards the end of the night. It was kind of like when I was laying the sod in the backyard years ago, and we got to our last piece, and Steve Taylor walked out in his ankle socks and said, "Hey, you guys need any help?" You know? Kind of had like that same kind of feeling where it was like end of the night, and Adam keeps announcing like, "Oh, we've only got like 13 clubs left here." And then all of a sudden we're sitting there and he goes, "You know what?
My gosh.
I'm going to try to remove some of these." And it's
my
like,
gosh.
wow, welcome to the fucking dance, huh? No, it was great. He had all eyes on him. Everyone was chanting him. It was really cute. He got the first one off. Took him like, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes to get the first one off. And then he got fractionally faster each one after that. I tried to show him a technique. He does what he normally does, is where he looks at what my hands are doing, but you can tell he's not taking account or paying attention to the technique. And then when I hand him back the tools, he does it his own way again. But that was fine because he got a little faster and he got him off. I don't think he got all the tape off of some of them. He just kind of did half the job and then handed it off to Jer Bear, but it still helped. And it was nice that even in the last seconds of the rush that you had the wherewithal to be like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I should take some of these off. So that was really neat. And it was nice to see you get in the trench and get your hands dirty, and to finish the night as a 3-man wrecking crew, something I'll never forget.
You laid that out perfectly. I cannot debate any of what you just said. To make the analogy that I am showing up at the last song of a dance and saying, "Let me get in on this," or Steve Taylor walking out after you do a massive all-day project and saying, "I'll put down one piece of sod," that is exactly what happened. I do want to say, folks, there's a running bit on here that I don't know how to do anything that requires the use of my hands. I don't know how to fix anything, build anything, do anything that a man or a woman would know how to do when it comes to building, designing, executing manual labor. It's not a bit. There's nothing exaggerated about the fact that the connection in my brain between thinking and doing just does not exist. And I'm not making it up when I say if my wife and I go to IKEA, she has to put together the furniture when we get back. I cannot follow those instructions. My brain does not see instructions and then execute against it. So when you say something like, I show you how to do things with my hands and then you're not paying attention and you do the opposite, it's not that I'm not paying attention. It's that connection in my brain is not there. I can't do it.
Can't do it.
Maybe.
And what's odd is I come from the handiest man of all time, my dad, and I work with the handiest man of all time, you. None of it has rubbed off on me.
And none of it ever will. Stay on your little keyboard, fix our mistakes, keep the comms coming. Know what I'm saying?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little broadcasting bit right there.
Very good.
Yeah. Because like...
Okay, that'll all be bleeped out. No need for any of my parents or in-laws to hear that.
Oh, I'm in...
Just more bleeping for me to do. I did have the wherewithal, though, to see that my two compadres, Ryan Engle and Jer Bear, could have used some help. And so I did grab a hook blade, and part of the process of regripping is degripping. And if you're to break it down into 3 stages, you take the old grip off with a hook blade. Then you take the tape off, usually with, a torch and some acetone?
Just depends, yeah. If your grip's not too old and whoever put them on the first time made the tape nice and smooth, and you hook it correctly without cutting the tape, you can leave the tape, which is nice.
Yeah.
That saves a lot of time. But we didn't have a lot of those that night. We had some guys bring in some old slappers. We had to unslap them.
So after I had finished writing up all the tickets, I decided, let me jump in and help. Let me learn how to do this. I did easily the easiest part of the degripping and regripping assembly line, but I was happy to help, happy to learn, happy to look like I knew what I was doing just for a few moments there. A couple more notes on the grip party. I know that we're staying pretty mono-focused today.
Monotoned, maybe.
I don't know if you want to go into this, but I have it in my notes. There's always one guy. Special request guy.
We had a few special requests.
One of them you just flat out ignored.
Which was?
One of our customers who happens to be one of our best friends.
Yeah.
And we're not going to name his name because I love this guy. You love this guy.
Technically, I went outside to double check with him. This, that, the other. And logo up, whatever. And his last words to me, I still made the mistake. I stand by my mistake. I made it. I was up front with it. I let him know about said mistake. One could argue that it wasn't a mistake at all. Could have been helping him. That's a different discussion. But his last words to me, do it how you do it. I'm here for the ride. So you could say that that's the worst thing you could say to a guy like me, because then all of a sudden now all details are lost. I'm going back to the driver's seat. And I did it my way.
Excellent.
Yep. Shame on JB. Logo up. Those logos are down. They're the most down logos I've ever seen.
We're not shaming anybody nor doxing anybody.
Just did.
I know you did. We love JB. JB did ask for logo up. You abide by the core Lord rule of logo down. And for everyone's edification, because I needed to hear this a couple of weeks ago, 1, what is logo down when regripping? And 2, why logo down?
Well, logo down is when the golf grip on the club, if setting the club at address and you're looking perpendicular to said target line, so like the face of the club is completely 90 degrees of the target line, and you come up the shaft of that perfectly square club face and you draw an imaginary line down the middle of the shaft and it goes up, that's your line to line up the grip when you regrip a club. Some grips don't have lining up. They're 360 grips is what they call them, so they can go on any which way. But others are directional. Our grip is a directional grip. There's a top and a bottom. And so you want to set those lines up to said line. It's imperative that any true golf culture aficionado, or if you're lucky enough to be core lord, you never have that logo up in harm's way. And by harm's way, I mean the vision of said players look at address. You want that logo on the underside of that line of the shaft, basically facing down towards the ground, so you never see the logo at address. That's what you want. That's ideal. Tiger Woods does it. Have you ever seen his cord golf prides with the golf pride up by his thumb? Absolutely not. You might catch that logo when he's at the top of his backswing because that thing's pointing towards the sky. But you never want to see any logos there. And so I'm proud to say, after installing 150 some odd grips, granted I didn't ask anyone, but not one grip was installed. Logo up. They were all logo down.
Did you just rip one while talking?
Yeah. I'm surprised you heard it with those headphones on. We had chili last night.
Great. I'm
So
glad
it's
that the doors are closed and the heater's on.
It's
right
a chilly winter day, if you know what I'm saying. Oh,
now. Not anymore. My eyebrows are singed off.
keep me away from that acetone, huh?
So that's why we do it logo down. We had one customer request logo up. They got theirs logo down. We had another customer request taking a grip off that had a weight in it. And that was a request you simply could not meet.
No, I didn't bring my star wrenches. What kind of a grip gets fucking screwed on? That's what I want to know.
Let's quickly go through the rest of these notes. We had a celebrity in the house.
Who's that?
The host of the Duffer McShanker podcast, Scott Nolan. Always nice to be joined.
Strolling.
Always nice to be joined by radio royalty.
Ryan Engle made me a fucking breakfast burrito.
He was getting a little pushy, like, when's mine, you know? And then he finally calmed down, and he cooled his jets after we clearly were the most impressed and self-proclaimed his Ben Hogan driver that he brought in, the best club we saw all night. That was cool.
I had to kick Scott Nolan out of the party because he told his wife, who was his ride, who was nearby in town visiting her sister, to come down and pick him up. She shows up, and instead of walking out like he should have because his clubs were done and not subjecting his wife to a warehouse full of guys watching one dude regrip a bunch of clubs when it was 38 degrees in said warehouse, he had his wife come in, didn't go outside to meet her and leave, and then proceeded to tell everyone about which cut of meat is the best. So she had to hear him hold court on being a butcher, something she's probably heard for 20 years, inside of a freezing warehouse while you redid clubs.
Strolling. Take a lap, buddy.
Ryan Engle made me a fucking breakfast burrito.
Scott, Kathy, thanks for coming on down. Kathy, sorry that you had to spend more time in the warehouse than you probably wanted to. Great to see Cousin Clubs. What a great surprise that was, having him come in.
Yep.
His first big public appearance since his cancer diagnosis. And on January 31st, just 4 days from now, we will find out if our good friend is in remission. Which
You'd
we
love to hear that.
cannot wait to hear the R word. And I know that we will hear the R word when it comes to Cousin Clubs. In my mind, this event proved that we don't need to be as planned as we think we do. And
Really?
Really?
Go on.
Sometimes I think that we are held back by our own standards. We've got the Nation Desert Classic in May, which is so above and beyond any event that anyone in the golf industry throws that I feel like we kind of hold ourselves to that standard for everything that we do. And on this one, there was just a bit of a punt. And I remember as we were setting up, you came over, cracked 2 beers, cheersed me, and said, let's just do the best we can tonight.
Back in the 80s, there was a pop culture slang word that people used a lot. It's one of my favorites. No one uses it anymore. But you just go, man, that's cash. It's cash. Short for casual.
Thank you.
Sometimes you have the big ball, and sometimes it's cash. And the cash parties are easy because you just throw some fucking pizza boxes out there, fill up a cooler full of Miller and some ice, crank some tunes out of the old transistor radio, keep it cash, brother. And that's what we did. And that's why earlier in the week, when you were all fucking stressed out, I said, look, I got the party, dude. Just go write your emails. I'll take it from here. And boy, did I ever.
Credit to you. And credit to me for letting go of my death grip on the wheel.
Every episode now, I'm playing this game. And I'm going to dox myself right now. And it's probably going to make my predictions wrong because I'm bringing it up. But throughout the episode, I try to make a mental note of where you're going to find the title of said episode. And I think I just found it. Had I not have said it, the title of this episode should have been Credit to Me. You love to hear it. Credit to me, Adam Hawk.
Justin Jung, our creative director, put together an edit of you building and regripping clubs that's on YouTube now and on both the Nation Golf and Tips from the Tips Instagram. It is the finest piece of cinema ever produced in the golf industry space. Everyone needs to watch it. everyone needs to comment on it and everyone needs to share it because it is a masterpiece. It is beautiful. And as we are now in Oscar season, as all of the Academy Award nominated pictures have been announced, this would have won Best Short Film had we have submitted it. It's so good. The amount of text messages I got yesterday about the quality of this video, unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Go watch this film. Are you excited about Justin's edit?
I'm more excited to watch every golf outlet and golf project page and hype golf page and golf fashion page and what's new with golf this week page. More excited to watch them all snub us. We could literally sign Tiger Woods to Nation Golf and no one would talk about it. We are so in the barrel. What is it that everyone's so fucking afraid of?
Well, we're only the 46th most exciting golf brand out there.
I know, but it's just like, come on, dude. Your God, Stephen Malbon himself, is in my phone fucking telling me he likes shit. So we know you're seeing it. We know you saw it. And you continue to snub us. And you know why I think it is, Adam? We don't play the game. We don't circle jerk all the same people. We don't play likes. You know, everyone just likes for networking. We like what we really like, and we stay true to that. And they don't like that. We're going to continue to do it because the people that do see it, the people we do meet, they know right out of the gates, for as long as we do this, that not only is it extremely authentic and real, but it's steady for the course. We're not going to be jumping at new trends, playing nice just to get views. We don't play that game. And maybe we should, but we don't. I think it's cute that they try so hard to act like they didn't see our sweater drop and our bag drop because we see the customers coming over. We see the orders. We're bridging gaps between guys who have been following us for years who are finally buying stuff because they're like, oh, that's cool. And it's all in the same vein of our story. We continue to be authentic and we continue to be creative and expand upon what we do. And we keep slowly trickling some of those guys over here. We know they follow us. We know they see it. And we also know that they make a conscious effort to leave us out. And I think that's really cute. I actually like that more than having some fake article to network with each other. We're raw, we're real, we're Nation Golf, and we're fucking proud of it. So keep snubbing us, brother, because we ain't stopping. And I think that we might be around when they finally hang up their little gig.
I've said it many times. The scene is in the microwave business. We are in the crock pot business. Let's wrap it up. What did you do yesterday on Sunday to recover from Saturday?
We went to the early service. Nice rainy day. It's always nice to kind of bundle up, go in with a hot coffee. And I kind of like those days, you know. My mom hadn't been to the River Street Marketplace yet, so we called her up and she came down and we went over there and walked around, checked out some stores, showed her the whole thing. She was super stoked. And we had just an absolute wonderful lunch, early lunch. Then went and walked around again, got some ice cream, went to the petting zoo there. Palmer was all stoked and just had a wonderful day. Came home, took a nap, which we never do. Woke up and had a family potluck, chili dinner, and just an absolute perfect Sunday. Absolute perfect Sunday. How'd yours go?
Glad to hear it. I had a decent Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, thank you for asking.
Great.
Didn't watch any of the Farmers Insurance Open, partly because it was too busy and partly because if the Genesis is coming back to Torrey, I'll watch Torrey Pines on TV in a couple of weeks.
I thought the Farmers finished on Saturday. Did it not?
Oh, it did. You're right.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't watch it on Sunday.
Yeah. I'm Mr. PGA Tour.
You got me.
Yeah.
You did. Congrats to Harris English for winning that. But I'm glad I'll have my second chance to see Torrey on television in a couple of weeks when the Genesis returns because, as many of you know, I just shot a 39 on the back of the South Course, and I'll have a great opportunity to do some couch caddying in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. When you're playing the whites, you want to take this line over here.
Thank you so much to everybody for listening. We very much appreciate it. I've been given a 30-day warning to get this podcast on video from the better half of the founder of the company. Katie Kai Engle has told me I have 30 days to get this podcast on video.
Which means you're going to wait 20 to start looking into it.
Thank you so much for listening. We will talk to you next Monday.
Hard out, 7:30, Ryan. I got a hard out.